I've got to say, Bowen's back. I know I said it in the review last night, but he looks back. It was the way he was cutting in, the confidence he had, the way he took his goal, absolutely. But it was evident from the start of the game, if you remember, when he had that shot, which the goalkeeper saw sort of spilled. And you felt Scamacca might just quite get hold of it. And it was could have had a tap in, if you like. That was created by Bowen. That was going to carry on all throughout the game. And you could tell he was in the mood. I mean, later on, he actually got, in the second half, he got a dislocated finger. I'm pointing to that one, I don't think so. Anyway, he got a dislocated finger and still carried on. One of those ones, pop it back in, off you go, son. Thought it was a tremendous performance. I was watching anything. I was listening to Talk Sport during the week, and they were talking about West Ham, and I don't even know who it was. Maybe Andy Townsend, maybe I got it wrong. And he said, I just feel that West Ham are close. All it takes is once Bowen. No, but he said West Ham will be fine. Once Bowen starts scoring again, everyone will be worried about him, and he'll score goals and they'll collect points. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't wrong, was he? It might not have been Andy Townsend, but I'll give him the credit. I did feel he was back to it. We saw, because of the way Bowen was playing, and I think the instruction that he was given, there's twofold. I think there's twofold. Number one, because of the job Kehrer was doing behind him, and we'll get to him in a second, but also the fact he was getting close to Scamacca. We saw Scamacca. We didn't see grumpy Scamacca. We didn't see moody Scamacca. We saw Scamacca who had someone next to him. I was really impressed with what I saw from him today. He is quicker. He's quicker than you think. There's an easy comparison. And that's to make with Haller. And I think there's two main reasons to compare him for three. Number one, he costs a lot of money. Number two, he's big. And number three, he's a striker. I think the similarities sort of end there, really, because I think there's a natural fear that we won't get the best out of Scamacca because we didn't out of Haller. They're different. Firstly, he's quicker, all right? Secondly, I got the feeling Scamacca that Haller was a poacher. He liked being in and around the box. In many respects, he might have looked totally different to Chicharito, but he was a bit like Chicharito. He liked to play within the goalposts in many respects, and he was an instinctive finisher. He was very, very good at it. You get the feeling Scamacca will drop deep. Scamacca will get involved in the overall play of the game. And I think that's really important. It's really good to see not only him linking up, but he'll link up, he'll drop deep, and if the short pass isn't on, he'll look to try and spread the play and spread it long. Really good. He's up for the shot. Once we start getting more ammunition into the box, more of a supply line, we're just going to see more goals. The guy's going to score goals. That's one Premier League goal now, 2 Conference League goals. That's not a bad start. 4 goals ain't a bad start to your career. It's not like you're looking at him thinking, oh, is he going to get up and running? Is he going to get up and scoring? No, he's already there. I don't know how much he's going to play, so it's hard to say how many goals he'll score this season. But I would not be surprised if, in all competitions, he scores between 15 and 20 goals, which wouldn't be bad at all, will it? But I felt as I say, his frustrations were much lessened by having someone next to him. And the Cornet thing was a real shame because, again, you started to see a bit of an understanding. And Cornet's fast, and it really worried me that we'd sort of lose all our pace from the team. But you know what? Scamacca's not fast, but he's also not slow. He's not as slow as Haller, but I thought Bowen looked sharp. So Bowen was able to carry that sort of counter-attacking threat for us, very much so. I said in the review, I think that David Moyes has probably got a bit of a problem now. He does. And a nice problem. The problems he wants. And that's at right back. Kehrer showed us enough in that game, enough to demonstrate that he should be playing right back in the next game that matters. If you know what I mean. I just mean Moyes might switch up that team to play Anderlecht, but the next league game against Fulham, I would very much like to see Kehrer at right back. I think Kehrer just going to play, isn't he? I'll tell you what was really nice as well, having the right back in there. Basically, what it gives you, he's not massive, but he's big enough to be a component at set plays when you're defending them. So actually, it gives us a fullback who, when we're defending corners and gives us the ability to head the ball out, and I think that's really, really important. I'm absolutely delighted with Kehler's performance. I'm going to talk about Paqueta in just a second. Before I go on and talk about Paqueta, can I please point you in the direction of Hammers Chat's Patreon page? Let me just tell you a little bit about Hammers Chat. Basically, we've got 2 YouTube channels, the one you're watching now and the main channel, which you see Gio on a lot. And we've also got a Patreon page. Now, the Patreon page is basically a page where you pledge to support us each month, which helps us do this as a job. We've got 3 main income streams. We have got the adverts, which I know you have to suffer on all the channels that we have on YouTube, which is our free to view stuff. We also have channel sponsors like the wonderful ETC, who have been with us for ages. ETC are Hammers fans, by the way, which is why they stick with us. We've also got One Football and all that other stuff we advertise. But the one thing that enables us to keep going and doing this as a job, which in turn enables us to do all the free stuff as well, is our Patreon page. Now, we don't just ask you to give us money, we give you, what we like to think, we give you back some quality content as well. So, for instance, in the month of August, there are 31 additional videos on Patreon alone. Now, there are 3 different tiers where you can sign up. We've got an entry-level tier, and then we've got what we call our Hammers Chat Addicts, where you get everything, including massive discounts on our store. Now, we've had Harry Redknapp on last month. We've had Tony Cottee on, Tony Carr on. We've had West Ham Scouts. We've got Premier League referees. We've got 2 different podcasts. We've got breakfast shows, opposition previews, player ratings, Hammerlytics. Honestly, there is a load of additional. It's like a West Ham Netflix, but without the Stranger Things. Well, actually, there's a lot of Stranger Things going on, just not that Stranger Things, if you know what I mean. It's a great way for you to support us, if you'd be so kind. Anyway, that's enough begging for me. The link is in the description below. It's patreon.com/Hammerschat. It's patreon.com/Hammerschat. Check out the link below. We'd very, very much appreciate your support. Okay, Lucas Paqueta. I mentioned in the review, I don't think he's up to Premier League sharpness yet. I think he's trying things. I think he thinks he's got longer on the ball than he actually does. And particularly when you play against a team like Wolves, who are really sharp, aren't they? Really crisp. They're very quick, very sharp players as well. There were enough glimpses in there. There was a very sneaky sort of pass, which he played to Bowen, I thought, which was really good. He was trying to get up in support where possible on a counter-attack, but he's not rapid. So you need him in a position where he's pulling the strings. I'm not entirely sure Moyes knows how to use him yet. Not that it matters when you just won 2-0. You know, the result was all that was important there. And I do look at him and wonder... I don't look at him and think this is a Sullivan signing. I really don't. I think Moyes signed him, but I do look at him and think, well, you know, was this Moyes' 4th choice or something like that? He's quality. He'd look good in a lot of teams, but I just wonder if Moyes had have got Anana, for instance, he would have known more what to do with him. Zielinski would have known more what to do with him. I just think he might be scratching around thinking, what am I going to do with this player here? We didn't need to worry about it because I thought Declan Rice, and in particular Souček, was so good behind him, it allowed him to have an average game. If I'm honest, and he did absolutely have an average game. I'll tell you what I was quite impressed with, actually, in the second half, was when he brought Emerson. I thought Emerson looked all right. Now, Emerson didn't come on as a left. In fact, he was sort of left wing, wasn't he? At the point where Emerson came on, Fornals was allowed the freedom to move inside and play more centrally, and basically played in Paqueta's position when Paqueta went off, and Emerson played in Fornals' position on the left side midfield. I thought he looked all right. He's quite direct as well. I do like that sort of direct style of running. Really good. Great to see Dawson back. Love the battling with him. I'd love to try and be able to persuade him to stay, get a workable solution. It's horrible to think he might just leave in January. He's very important to us. I never thought that when we signed him. It's worth talking about Souček just a little bit. I thought it was just a battling performance. The timing, the time of his first touch, the time of his passing is often poor, frequently poor. It was actually poor a lot of times in that game. However, if we're going to talk about timing, I think if you're going to criticise the timing of his first touch and stuff like that, I think you've also got to praise the timing of his tackling, the time of his heading, the interceptions, his reading of the game. It's quite funny, isn't it? Because he obviously reads the game well when, from an attacking standpoint, otherwise he wouldn't have got those sort of poachers goals that he got when he was in his really good, rich vein of scoring. But I also think he reads the game well in terms of sensing danger defensively, because he does cut an awful lot out. I know something. He was under a lot of pressure. Moyes was under a lot of pressure to play him. And what I do know is that Moyes would be absolutely delighted with that performance. There's no doubt about that. Moyes will have been thrilled with that. I also think Moyes will have, just go back to Scamacca, Moyes will have been thrilled with Scamacca because he battled and he really, really fought. And I just like the competition for places. I like how Scamacca playing that well really forced Antonio. And Antonio didn't do anything, didn't score anything like that, but he was up for it. From the moment he arrived on the pitch, he was up for it. And that's just what the competition for places does. It makes people up their games. If you don't up your game, you're out of the team. Soufal doesn't play well, he's out of the team. You know, and that's why it's important with every position that's the case. I do wonder, with, you know, going back to Souček, if that was his last performance, if Moyes had said, look, mate, one more stinker and you're out of the team. So I do wonder if that was part of it. Cresswell, it's important for him to see Emerson play well. All right, albeit in a more advanced role, but it's important for him to see him and think, if I don't get this right, I'm out. So, you know, look, there's so much to be appreciative of in that game. Just mostly the points. Let's get up there. You know, I'm not impervious to the comments that say, oh, you know, get David Moyes out. So, you know, I want to lose a game so we can get David Moyes out. I've never been like that. Not with. Do you know what? I wasn't even. Tell a lie. It might have crossed my mind once or twice under Allardyce. I just thought he wouldn't be. I thought this guy's just bad for the club. But you know, in the main, I wasn't like it. It was said under Bilic. It was said under Pellegrini. I don't want us to start losing games. I actually want Moyes to start winning games. I want us to win our next 3 games. Certainly Fulham's next. Is it Liverpool after that, or is it Bournemouth? I don't know. I'll have a little look. There's some winnable games in there. That's for sure. No doubt about that at all. So I want to see us keep climbing the table. Keep solving the puzzles. It looks like he's. I can't wait. Do you know what? I can't wait to ski. I can't wait to ski. I can't wait to see Scamacca play again. I think that was really, really good. Absolutely delighted with that. But Mo, just going back to the start of the video, Bowen back on form. Bowen is back. Absolutely brilliant. Right, I'll catch up with you lot tomorrow.